A senator and a reporter are on a fact-finding tour of Utah, and the false prophet of the Mormons, Manson, is there because they're asking about Mrs. Moneybags. And he explains to them that she and many other of the elderly, more affluent elderly, they bring them into Utah once they convert them so they can appreciate the ugliest sin temples, and they can sign over the will, stuff like that. And a missionary runs up and hands Monson a note that says Mrs. Moneybags and the others wants to go, and he's so confused he hands it back to the reporter and runs off. He says, I gotta get me some Kool-Aid. Ed and Stan have had to make a detour. They're driving a big truck, making deliveries, 18-wheeler, and they've had to literally pull off the road, get back on the road. And Stan says, well, you think they got that big thing right there so low you can't go under it? Middle of the road. And Ed says, oh, they got them on all major interstates now. And there's, of course, a smaller road, and we're an 18-wheeler. But it's something for the rest of the country, and not Utah. Well, I guess it is for Utah too, but it explains that it was at Jonestown. They had a sign there, saw it in the documentary, with the saying, those who do not remember something are damned to relive it. There's something to that effect. You get the point of the saying. Don't remember history, or I think that's it. Those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it. Maybe something to that effect. I can't read quick. It's basically what I'm saying. And some poisoning, yes. Don't get me started on Dignity Health and LA firefighters. You're going to get a lot of truth. Wear them with AO. But yeah, it's to let folks know as they're going into Utah. Oh, I made one a night or two ago. Ronald, his crate of Big Fives. I've been showing him so much I don't have them in the bedroom. Crate of Big Fives, Latter-day Saint Mormon missionaries for his church to hand out wherever they live. And a truth. He explains, you're going to see these Mormon missionaries, Latter-day Saints missionaries. LDS, proud of that title. 209. As I said before, I don't care how high it is, I'm still tasting the insulin. I'm still feeling the effects in the belly. Saw last night. Not for the particular Tresiba I take, but for another insulin company saying if you have intestinal pain or stomach pain, something like that. I just saw it real quick. contact your doctor, and I sure told every doctor at Dignity Health about that, and they were very lawyer-like. Very much the devil. Saw a lot of truth there. But, yeah, Ronald's got this big crate, and he explains to the church as he's handed it out, and I have to make this quick because I want to keep it under 5 or under 6 now. He says these missionaries, you know, clean-cut looking usually, are going to remind you of your children. And nothing could be further from the truth when your children, your kids, your sons and daughters are this age, they're serving the country, they're going to college, they're working hard, and even if they're, you know, out of work and, you know, just at your house, even if they're that, they're better off than these folks. They're ingrained. They're brought up from birth to be that way. To take part, excuse me, take part in religious censorship of America's lifelines. Oh, I don't know if they're up on the, you know, poles with tools, but yeah, wherever you see something bad going on that has politically correct or other, they might not have that Latter-day Center LDS thing on their chest telling everyone who they are, but yeah, these are the folks. Never is it more true than when you try to call Melton in front of them and you ask him, why does he see you around him all the time? 4 decades now. 424-229-4140. The missionary wolves knock on your door. You try to call me in front of them. You ask them what's your church's part in that. The devil insists they spend 3 long hours worshiping him and his lies every Sunday. Good time to call them. Ask what's your part in America's hijacked lifelines. What do you know about John Milton Brady? Get their reaction posed. Those who are hijacking, call to me right now. 424-229-4140. They are worried enough about that, their crime of doing that, to alter phone records covered up. That's why I tell you to make the video. You got the timestamp on your phone, you got the number dialed, not 193 taking a decade of asking, guys. If political, religious in the forefront because of that Hussein place. Putting that cowardly Hussein in the highest office in the world right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Ask and answer the question, I've got mine. This is political satire that changes when you pick up that phone. Let's call it that. I've been asking for a decade. Have you yet to get one of religious censorship stopping your phone from working? Sending a message in your neck of the woods? Yeah, I bet you can guess it's going to be just as newsworthy as me asking for a decade and not getting one. Check and post and file in front of every reporter, every network news anchor, tell them you're not covering the news, it's news now. We need to replace you all. And yes, mayors, governors, senators, but this is about the Mormons and Ed and Stan. As they drive down the road, they say, well, man, this place, the way they act, the way they look, it does kind of remind me of those. I saw a documentary one, Ed did, and it kind of reminds me of those folks. We better get this Kool-Aid in there and get out. I don't even want to get gas here. We'll get it on the other side. Come see me. We'll travel. Show me the perfect place to build. Jesus' immaculate house. Best people to start building with. 424-229-4140. Make that video. Post that video. Put that first brick of truth in Jesus' immaculate house, and I have to call it Jesus' immaculate house. You can call it an opportunity house, opportunity for all kinds of folks all over the world to build a better world. But I have to call it Jesus' immaculate house because there will be a test at the end. Jim and Charlie, two Mormon LDS, Latter-day Saint missionaries, are in the South, and they're in Darren's house, and he has a some antlers up on above the fireplace, and he's explaining to them that it's like a trophy, let everyone know I was out in the wilderness getting my food. And Jim says, oh, we kind of got something like that with our church. And yeah, they're right. I've seen them parading little old ladies in wheelchair, and yes, I've seen them pushing a stretcher down a street with a little old man in it. They like to parade those trophies around, get the truth out about them. Adam has just sat down with Kayla and his kids for dinner when the LDS, the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, interrupt his dinner. He goes to the door. He says, oh, yeah, they told us you were in the neighborhood. And then he hands them, this is a 4x6 photo right here, never mind the dogs, beware the owners. Phones the truth, documenting Mormon character and crimes across the country. And it's also got some fives there. He says, it's got my contact. I've been asking for a 911 Flight 93 ticket for a decade. I've yet to get one. Make a video if you had that call to me. Those hijacking your calls are weird enough about to all your phone records covered up. So make that video, post that video, and he hands him the two missionaries a 4x6 Mormons Beware. He said, go to the man on the corner with the flag. He's a veteran. He wants to try to call Melton in front of you. And yes, we noticed you were part of placing that cowardly Hussein in our White House. I was checking out at the library, and Ed's their librarian, and she hears the most, a sailor doesn't cuss this much, yell, scream, incoherent. And she says, what's that? And Ed says, oh, that's the genealogy department. They often have Mormons in them, and they've been going stone cold crazy lately. We need to protect our families from them. He hands her a 5 from behind the desk there. You check and post in 5, 424-229-4140. John Milton Brady's been asking for a decade. He's yet to get one 911 Flight 93 check. And yeah, guys, a number of those I've literally seen screaming lately. I've watched them for decades around me. You get your cameras ready, it's coming for you. The leadership of an international church speaks to its members. It says, he says, the harassment techniques, methods conducted by the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, LDS, proud of that title, against John Milton Brady, a man in a wheelchair, is commonplace. We hear of it all the time. We hear from our church members about that hateful group of wolves among us with connections to the Muslims. John Milton Brady is a graphic artist, and he has designed Mormons Beware. We don't like you preying on our elderly, casing our neighborhoods, and expresses the sentiment of many people about those devils of the Mormons. Jay is watching the game when he hears that knock, and he sees two Mormon fraud of the faith missionaries on his front doorstep. Jim J and Charlie M. And someone played Santa with Jay and dropped off for his neighborhood and where he works. The Mormons Beware. We don't like casing our neighborhoods, preying on our elderly, never mind the dogs. America is armed with phones that make videos and document your character left and right. And yeah, Dignity Health and LA Fire Department, active participants in America's High-Tech Lifehouse, remember to check and post in 5 with the LA Fire Department. Before you come out here as a tourist, you need to know if they know what a 911 Flight 93 check is. That's you calling me, not reaching me in a decade. checking at them. Two cops see something suspicious in one of the neighborhoods. A gray car that's been abandoned by the side of the road, then something even more suspicious. Two guys with bikes coming up to that car. They ask for the license and registrations, and Jim and Charlie, two LDS, Latter-day Center Mormon missionaries, they explained, we're missionaries, we're trying to get business for our church. And Jack says, well, you have to understand we need to protect our citizens. And that guy Jim Jones and Charlie Monson, they were also drawing up business for the church. Now, who is the leader of this little church of yours? Leo is driving a truck, and Jack's with Leo. They're delivering Big Fives and Mormon Beware photos. That's a 4x6 photo, so are these. To all the churches in the city, the county. And Jack does the talking. He says the first thing the devil's going to do is try to tell you that these men and women knocking on your door are just like your kids. Couldn't be further from the truth. Your kids are in the military. Your kids are at college. Your kids are working hard, as these folks, the wolves among sheep, are casing your neighborhoods and preying upon your elderly. And yeah, your kids don't pal around with Muslims on Utah campuses, college campuses, and elsewhere. Check and post in 5. Wallpaper your neighborhood with these Mormons Beware images. Richard is a federal employee. That's a federal position, and he has been misusing that position for years, for decades, with the Mormons. And he is with a Mormon, a Latter-day Center, LDS, proud of that title, in a restaurant. And Jared is just going crazy. He's yelling, he's screaming. You told us we didn't have to worry about any of this. You're looking out for us. We're all getting those 93 checks and being asked about our active participation in America's hijacked lifelines about our Muslim brothers. You told us we didn't have to worry about that. We were with you. And Richard looks around, everybody's looking, and he wonders at this point how many of them are making a video with their phones and how many police, local, state, federal, have in the past. No, Gwendolyn. Let's take your photo over by those nice antiques of yours. I can't believe that those children of yours don't come visit you more often. You are just a joy to talk to. Yes, Sarah and a couple of other Mormon church princesses, LDS, Latter-day Centers, proud of that title, put these, this is a 4x6 folder, prepared all of these, to print out and hand out in your neighborhood. Never mind the dogs. Beware the owners. Americans armed with phones documenting crimes, Mormons across America. We don't like you casing our neighborhoods while we're working, and we don't like you preying on our elderly neighbors. Print out those files with my contact and try to call me in front of them. Ask them, how do you reach this man's part of religious census? Pose. Jim and Charles, two LDS, Latter-day Center Mormon missionaries, are casing the neighborhood, and they come across Abigail. She answers the door. She says, I thought you were that nice man from the neighborhood. He gets my prescriptions for me. And of course Jim and Charlie say, oh, well, of course we'll get your prescriptions for you. Yeah, long story short, Abigail is blurry-eyed and talking to some church princesses the next day, the next week, the next day. You take your pick. And she's saying this is the king. She's a little bit confused now. Bad pills or something. A little bit confused, and she says, is this the King James Version? And they're taking photos of her stuff to find out what's antiques or not, and they say, oh, yes, ma'am. A Mitch has just knocked on Mormon military Muslim Jim's the door, and he answers, and Mitch says, "It took a long time to track you down. Why'd you move your family out of New York?" And Jim says, "Well, you know, I work for the LDS, Latter-day Saints, proud of that title. And I wanted my family to be closer to me. That's why I moved them out of New York." And just then the news is on, and Mitch turns to see the news footage of 9/11, the attack by those cowardly Husseins before they placed a cowardly Hussein in our White House. And he has exposed Jim's part in that. The apocalypse. Mormons with high-tech toys. Not letting my computer work at this moment. There was people walking among us. My Melton is not here. Do you see a Melton here that has where this goes? I've already put these together in specific order, and the devil's people are earning exceedingly more pain for their pod people on hand, and exceedingly more truth. Like this. Print this out left and right, put it on your doors, put it up on billboards outside the Mormon fraud of faith temples and churches across our country. Tell them we are watching you, never mind the dogs, we don't like you casing our neighbors and preying on our elderly. Jim and Charlie to Utania. Mormon missionaries are shuttling a Muslim brother back to the bishop's house in their gray car before they, when they go back to Utah, they'll take him back there for who knows what reasons. But, they've been conducting some harassment techniques in any town, USA, same that they're conducting right now beneath me. And they have a minor fender bender. The cop pulls over and the trunk just won't close, and they got all their ill-gotten gain. Little perks of casing neighborhoods, jewelry, phones, antiques. Worked a 55-hour week. His wife's been hard at work too, and they've just sat down to dinner. He looks out and sees the Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints, proud of that title. And he says, "Okay, Ralph, you got this one." And he hands Ralph the 4x6 photo. And he says, "You know what to do afterwards." And Ralph goes out the door, meets the Mormons, hands them the Mormons Beware image here. You can print out through these sites, follow the links, look for the Mormons Beware folder, download, print them out, wallpaper your neighborhood with them. And after Ralph hands them the Mormons Beware 4x6 photos, he barks at them until they leave the yard. I'm Melton. Try to call me 424-229-4140. Certify your mail to me. Do this. A Sarge has a flash drive full of imagery from one and only Stone Cold Melton. John Melton Brady, son of a carpenter, married Daddy Carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. I'm son of a carpenter, I get to tell parables. And he says, remember how I told you he's sick from the insulin poisoning of the devil's people walking among us? He's not at his best. He will, be at his best when he gets his ass kicking boots. So he's still feeling sick, but here's that image he designed. Send it home to your families so they can put it on their front doors and let the Mormons know we're watching them and their Muslim brothers. Semper Fi, high five, fight, win this, we will defend. Frank and Leo are two federal officials, and they've just watched a video of mine where I spoke about the Latter-day Saints. Been around me all my life, LDS, Mormonism. And in particular I speak of church apprentices that approached me on 3809 blanks, at 3809 blanks, and Frank says, "What do you think that actually happened?" I said, Leo says, "I know it happened. Here are the folks," and they pulled it up on the file, and he says, "Yeah, just like the files on Hussein, folks may tell us to close those files, but true believers in democracy keep them open for the safety of America." Bill and Wendell are just nosing around, having a little fun. They're computer experts. In between having their doors knocked on and hearing the son of a carpenter marry me. Dad carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Marianne. I'm the son of a carpenter, Stone Cold, Melton, two others. They're looking around and they somehow got into a Mormon Latter-day Saint computer, and they're marveling, and Bill says, "Why would they have the names and numbers of all the corrupt federal, state, city, and county officials listed like this?" Right where anyone with knowledge can get to it. Wendell says they're Mormons. Alice has stopped by to see Rita, this Mormon, LDS, Latter-day Saint, a woman she works with. And Rita is all excited. She says, all over the United States, we're on our way to the big shindigs in Utah. And then she chastises her husband. He's packing a short distance away. She says, "Jacob, you know you don't have to take Kool-Aid to Utah with us. They always have those really big vats at these shindigs." Yeah, it's called practicing. They did it in Jonestown too. Check and post in 5-424-229-4140. Make a video of America's hijacked lifelines. And walk up your neighborhood with the LDS 5s. Beware. Never mind the dogs. The owners are armed with phones, making videos of your crimes across America. We don't like you casing our homes while we're working, and we don't like you preying on our elderly neighbors. Oh, you can put your website right there. It's a military pit bull project image, and yeah, as I'm designing this, as always here, they're conducting harassment noise techniques from down below. The Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints. These right here are prepared as 4x6 photos. So you can literally print them, download. I hope to have them on Flickr soon. I have to excuse the shaking. I'm a little weak from some insulin poisoning. But print these out. Put them on your doors. Let them know. We're not interested in your cartoon Bible or character. Yeah, it's not showing up. It's definitely loud enough to show up. But for some reason, maybe it's a different pitch. It's not showing up, but I just made my parable about the false Mormon prophet in his limo. And, the presentable ones going out to bilk little old ladies out of their fortunes across, for the savings across America. And the ones that aren't presentable, they send to California and all over America to be a part of the impersonator industry of yours truly. And audibly from down below hit something, a wall or something, and said, going after the kids. We're going after dangerous religious fanatics. Check and post in 5 when the Mormons knock on your door. Al's going over to Frank's house to watch the game. And he gets to the door there, and they hear the most horrendous cussing, screaming, carrying on from next door. And Frank says, "Man, that's not what they usually play." "What do you mean they usually play?" He says, "Oh yeah, that's Latter-day Saint missionary house, where they take the more hardcore converts and usually, Mayberry or Ozzie and Harriet. I hear that's really getting to them that truth about them worldwide, and their churches have to participation in America's high-tech lifelines around, and including their own lifelines, of course, around Stone Cold Mountain, John Milton Brady. Ralph knows Jared, a Mormon guy, Latter-day Saint, LDS, proud of that title, works at his company. And one day he decides to ask him something. He pulls him aside. He had the water cooler, not the Coke machine. And he says, "Jared, if Jesus asked you to commit suicide, would you do that?" And Jared says, "Well, heck yeah. He's what it's all about." I'm John Milton Brady, not 1-9-11 Flight 93 checking a decade of asking. No certified man, no non-certified man, with active participation by those innocent Mormons in your community. Checking posting 5 in front of them. Adam is at work in the break room with a Latter-day Saint, LDS, proud of that title, the Mormons. And he says, as they watch on the TV footage of 9/11 with the planes crashing into the buildings, he asks Jim, the Mormon, "Are those terrorists on those Muslim terrorists on those planes there, are they your brothers?" And yes, of course, the Mormon says, "Yes, they are." "Yeah, I know a lot of Christians and other folks preach that brother-sister thing. Here's where the man, me, asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 checks for a decade and not getting one. That's your family's life on not being allowed to work. Ask and answer Jesus' question, and yes, the Muslims and the Mormons are those who are an active part around me for decades with that." How do you know if the Mormons, the LDS, Latter-day Saints, are on a mission from the devil when they knock on your door, when they're preying on your neighborhood and your senior citizens while you're off working hard? How do you know if they're on a mission from the devil? Well, when you do talk to them. 1, wallpaper your neighborhood. 2, warn folks that they're on the way. And checking posting 5, they can reach me by phone to talk to me about my gate's livelihood of graphic art, of course, and my real livelihood of building Jesus' Immaculate House, and they are a part of your phone not working. Those hijacking calls to me are worried enough about it to alter phone records covered up. Mormons are a part of that for decades. Make that video, post that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. Post it. What do you know about this, Mormons? He and Edna are going to visit Edna's sister in another state, and Edna says, "Did you see that? That's the 5th car I've seen with 2 clean-shaven guys in it and 2 or more bearded, Muslim-looking guys." And Harry says, "Oh yeah, he travels as part of his work," and he says, "I see it all the time. All of them headed towards Utah. Do what I do. Take a photo of them, make a video with your phone of any suspicious behavior. Remember, Homeland Security is all of our jobs. Make a video of anything suspicious that those Jim Jones in the making as a state are a part of." Check it posting 5, 44-229-414041. Jack is a cop in Anytown, USA. He says, Hey, Jared, come over here." Calls him aside, and Jared is a thug in uniform for the LDS, Latter-day Saints, Mormons, and his neck of the woods. And Jack knows this. He says, I know you feel sorry for the Mormons being odd and all that. And I think he said, no, on Baker Street, they got into some trouble. And Jerry says, thanks. And he goes out, siren screaming, goes on over, and yeah, Leo's over there. He's another cop with other cops there, and they're making a documentary of how the Mormons use both cops and officials. Do that. Check and Post in 5 as well in front of those officials. Joe and Mitch are two cops, and they're walking through a room that has some citizens in it. And Joe says to Mitch, you know what's going to happen. It happens every time. We try to investigate what the Mormons, the LDS, Latter-day Saints, are doing in our town. Richard Edgars will come in. Oh, he's a federal guy, or someone from the county, city, or state, and they'll tell us to shut down the investigation. Yeah, that's why you need to go through the people. And they get back in their office, and he looks out and he says, oh, you think he did it? And he says, oh, Barney, he's always got that audio maker going. I had to close my window. The devil, sometimes I refer to them as Lori or the devil or the Chinese. They don't like my new image of truth about the Mormons. I'm forming it. I'll get back to it as soon as I get some food. I'm dealing with some insulin poisoning right now. But the devil also doesn't like the truth about those who attacked us from the outside, then attacked us from the inside. First with 9/11, then with that cowardly Hussein they placed in the White House, aside from those cowardly Husseins that attacked us with 9/11. You're going to get more truth from Mel. Son of Carpenter Mary. Dad Carpenter worked on skyscrapers. Mom Mary Ann. Son of Carpenter Mary. It's my job to give you truth. Jack had just called up Ralph with Rita, his wife, in Anytown, USA, and he tells them, you've got a Mormon, a family living right next to you, don't you? And Ralph says, oh yeah, that's got to be the ones on the left there. Odd as can be. And Ralph goes on to say, yes, we're Americans for unhijacked life funds and fairly elected officials, and those folks in federal, state, county, and city positions aren't doing their job to protect us from extremist groups like the cult that is the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints. So if you see anything odd going on with them, and remember to check and Post in 5 with the Mormons, make a video of what they are doing to post it. And Charlie, two average Mormon LDS Latter-day Saint missionaries are walking up to a door, could be in any city in America, and they see a sticker, a little graphic art on the door there that says, Mormons, never mind the dogs, beware the owners in our neighborhood, our city. We're all armed with phones, making videos of your character. We don't like you casing our neighborhoods where we are off hard at work. We don't like you preying on our senior citizens. Check and Post in 5. Put those 5s on the doors as well. Missionaries Jim J. and Charlie M. are in their Fraud of a Faith, Ugly as Sin Temples, They have to spend 3 hours each Sunday, this is Sunday, worshiping the devil and his lies. They're in church and it comes time to sing, and Jim J says to Jacob right next to him, "Oh no, brother Jacob, you take the hymnal. I've got it right here on my tablet." And yeah, a lot of text going on during those devil showers as well as every day of the week. The Mormons beware. They literally waited till I turned off the computer to turn the noise on from the Muslim Mormon apartment down below. Checking posting 5 424-229-4140, and they get texted that Mormons beware image. Abigail has just made a video that her local police will be getting across the country to get the truth out about the LDS. The Mormons of Latter-day Saints, keep in mind she would not have invited them into her home unless she had that backup there to protect her. But she excused herself as soon as that call came in, went to the next room, and they got that nice video of Jim and Charlie saying, "Oh man, that old biddy's gonna make us big in Utah's eyes. He's got a lot of cash." And Charlie says, "Well, remember, we can't spend too much time today. We got to go pick up our Muslim brothers, hide them in the back until we go back to Utah with them." Defend America from the Mormons. Checking posting 5 in front of them. Trying to call me. 424-229-4140. Make a video of you hijack culture. Man in the shadows. Oh, I'm in the bright sunlight too. 424-229-4140. Make a video. And remember, when those Mormons are casing your neighborhood, when you're hard at work, when they are going after your elderly, it disappeared on me. Checking post 5. Let me get it real quick. John Milton Bray, son of a carpenter and married. Dad a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Mom, Mary Ann. Yeah, Stone Cold Milton with the light of truth. Next time those Mormons knock on your door, have this to hand to them, or just use the text and tell them. Active in the harassment techniques here with a man in a wheelchair. You're tired of them casing your neighborhood? You don't like them preying on your elderly neighbors? Never mind the dogs, Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints. The owners are armed with phones making videos of your crimes. We don't like your connections to your Muslim brothers either. We still remember 9/11. So the false Mormon, Latter-day Saint, LDS prophet Mountain is riding in a limo with Jim and Charlie. 2 missionaries on their way across America to case neighborhoods. And he says, "You won't believe what that senator said." He said, "Am I going to have to come into your state and take folks out that don't want to be there?" And then he went on to say, "What do you know about John Milton Bray not getting a 93 check on a decade?" And he laughs and he says, "Well, you know what we do, guys. You're presentable, you're going out on your mission. Those who aren't are part of the impersonator industry." Oh no, Abigail, over by your China cabinet. Some Mormon church princesses, the LDS, Latter-day Saints are proud of that title, have been working on Gertrude. And they train them early to spot, antiques and valuable stuff, but yeah, they take photos so they can take it to their experts and know how much time to devote towards bilking Gertrude out of everything she's got. I'm Milton. Defend America. Yeah, they've taken some photos. I don't know why her kids don't stop by and talk to her more often. They'd like some photos for their family over. Check and post at 5. Wallpaper your neighborhoods with the Mormon Wolves Among the Sheep 5. Ask him how you reach John Milton Brady. The 3 Mormon LDS Latter-day Saint Church princesses are doing what they've been taught to do since birth. Bilk the elderly out of their savings for Utah. The only problem is the little old lady they're talking to is part of the military pit bull project, defending America from the hatred that is the Latter-day Saints and their dangerous connections to the Mideast and the Muslims, their Muslim brothers. When you see them preying on your neighborhood, casing your neighborhoods that are, everybody's off working hard. Wallpaper your neighborhood with those 5s about the Mormons. Tell everyone. Tried to call John Milton Brady in front of them. That's me. I've been asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 check for a decade, and I haven't gotten one, and they're an active part in our high-tech lifelines. A Jared and Jacob, 2 Mormon LDS Latter-day Saint missionaries are casing an American neighborhood, as most of the folks who live there are off working hard. And they come up to one house and they go up on to the door, the porch, and they knock on the door and they look down, and it's not a 5. It could be, but wallpaper neighborhoods with 5s telling everyone how to check and post a 5 in front of the Mormons, asking what's your very active part in America's high-tech lifelines. No, the sign says, the little sticker says, don't mind the dog, beware the owner. Armed with a phone, making a video of Mormon character left and right. Do that, defend America from the Mormons. Bill is either a college student or a cop and a churchgoer, and Ed has come over to his place and Ed says, what's that? On the video screen there. And he tells him, oh, that's the false prophet Monson, going into detail about everything that their fraud of a church in Utah, or as Utah, is doing worldwide. There's nothing you're going to find on Spectrum's internet or cable. It's put out by the Military Pit Bull Project, and meanwhile, in Utah, they're tearing apart this temple, beautiful, well, ugly as sin temple, and you're not going to find anything if it's from the real military guys. Mormons and their dangerous Muslim brothers on hand, blocking my Instagram description, where I apologize about the shaking. I'm undergoing insulin poisoning because I've been asking you to check your family's lifeline for a decade, and I've yet to get one. And those conducting harassment techniques like the noise next door and the noise from down below, and literally blocking 5 attempts and it's still not there. Make that video, post that video, and www and these other vote-truth.blogspot.com and Flight 93 check there's where you can print these out, hand them out at your door, warn your neighbors when they're coming through, so you can do that. And have everyone with a flag on their door check and post and find in front of those Mormons threatening America. So the newscaster's on TV, and he says this is unexplained. More lightning hits than we've ever seen before. In China, and of all other places, Utah. And the news lady says, well, do you think it has anything to do with Milton Stone Cold John Milton Brady not getting 193 check in a decade of asking, and their active participation, both of them, in that. And the weatherman says, oh, who knows? Checking posting 544-229-4140. Make a video of America's high-tech lifelines right now. Host. So the false Mormon prophet is raising hell with Jacob, member of his fraud of faith. It says they know information about us and our Muslim brothers and the harassment techniques we are part of worldwide. And yes, the hijack lifelines 442294140. They know that, and as he's talking to Jacob, a couple of missionaries are ripping out the Spectrum modem and cable box of Jacob's. He says, you don't use that. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Military Pitbull Project, listening in, says, "Oh, stupid son of a bitches. It's their damn phones." They're telling the world. The bishop has hit the ceiling. And he's called to hold the Latter-day Center, LDS Mormons, in. And shows them that video made at Abigail's Diner in their town. And he says, you got to be on the lookout for this. Vern Badeo is the handsome bald guy, son of a corporate married, John Milton Brady says. And it's true. After 9/11, we must do this with the Mormons, Latter-day Saints. And it's video of a couple missionaries talking about picking up their Muslim brothers and going on and on about that. I'm John Milton Brady, checking posted 5. Jack and Adam are two Protestants from different religions who recognize the devil walking among us, the wolves among all of Christianity, the worst kind, the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints. And as they have that new image in boxes of 4x6 photos to hand their flocks, Adam explains they're making a video as well. The harassment techniques they're using against the man in the wheelchair, John Milton Brady, and Eagle Rock were not devised just for him. They're doing that in our neighborhoods worldwide. We need to get the truth out about the Mormons. We don't like a case in our neighborhoods, preying on our elderly. George is retired. And he's been watching some TV shows, internet shows about home improvement. Get some ideas about how to fix a place up, and there is that knock on the door. And he knows who it is. The Mormons, the Latter-day Sinners, LDS, proud of that title. He's been complaining to everybody about them for years and years. So he gets up, he's a little angry. He goes to that door, opens it up, and all there is a box full of Mormon beware images, 4x6 photos. Those are 4x6 print. They'll fit in your wallet. That's a big one, 4x6 print. And a Santa cap and a beard. He gets to play Santa with a whole lot of other folks who want to speak their mind. Not letting my phone work, not letting my computer work at this moment. Harry and Edna, a sign of the apocalypse, a harbinger of the apocalypse, pod people, Mormons, Utonians, with those high-tech toys and other dangerous stuff on American soil with their Muslim brothers. Harry and Edna are on a ferry, and Harry is complaining, and Edna says, well, then, you calm down, just enjoy the view. You're always complaining about going through Utah and seeing all that. now that Stone Cold has sunk them with his truth about them. Enjoy the ride until they get that big highway across Utah, the ocean. No longer Utah. It's called Truth now. Whenever you hear Spectrum's decibel law-breaking fleet, that could be damaging your child's hearing as they install your cable on the internet or work on it. Ask them, how do you reach John Milton Brady and why are you taking active part? Like the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, LDS, print these things out to warn your neighbors about them preying on your neighborhood. Casing your house while you're at work, preying on your elderly neighbors. And yes, also the Fibes. With my contact information, you can certify mail to me. You can make that video of your hijack call to me. Do that. And ask, when else will my family's lifeline not be allowed to work? What's your part in that spectrum? Mormons? 424-229-4140. Jim and Charles, two Mormon missionaries, are casing the neighborhood in any town, USA. Oh, LDS, Mormons, Latter-day Sinners. They're proud of that title. And they see someone up ahead of them putting fives, their fives, checking, posting 5 in front of all Mormons. What do you know about this? John Milton Brady has been asking for 9/11 Flight 93 checks for a decade. He has yet to get one. You can reach him by phone to taunt him about his Gates livelihood and his hijacked lifeline. What's your part in that? And the indignant Jim and Charles, they get angry and they say, how can you do this? You're from a church? And they say, yeah, we're praying for you, but we got to protect our flock and your character. So this is my new Mormon image here. Beware Mormons. If you've seen the character I have of them, yes, the Utah LDS Latter-day Sinners, proud of that title. I've already got it prepared like these are as big 4x6 prints. Those are 4 to a 4x6 print there. You also come in 2 to a 4x6 print. And it's in this big collection, the Flickr 4x6 photos. And yeah, 4 to a 4x6 print, 2 to a 4x6 print. Let me show the big ones. That's a white background so the photo printer doesn't crop off any of the image. Yeah, we don't like you casing our homes and preying on our elderly neighbors. Makes a nice sticker as well. Ralph is picking up some emergency supplies. They're helping out. Tornado or hurricane or some kind of disaster out in the east somewhere. And he says, Leo, why do you have so damn many body bags here? I've seen a lot of disaster preparedness folks and they don't have that many. And Leo says, oh, we're right next door to those zealots taking part in America's hijacked lifelines, 424-229-4140. The Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints, proud of that title. They're a whole lot more than Jim Jones ever was, and we want to be prepared to, disease once all those folks caught being a part of the devil's work and want to go join him. Frank has just shown up at Jim's house. They were both in the military together. Now they're in military streets. You can call it that. And Frank says, Jim, why did you move your family out of New York? And Jim says, well, I got that hush-hush work going on with the Mormons, Latter-day Sinners, LDS, proud of that title. I wanted my wife and kids to be closer to me. And Frank says, well, it just looks odd. I wasn't sure why you did that. He turns and there on the TV is the World Trade Center attack. Worst kind of traitors are those hiding within the military with the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, and their Mideast connections. Defend America from that. Checking post in 5. See a military plane? 9/11 Flight 93, checking post in 5. You're trying to call me, John Melton Brady. You want to know why America's lifelines are being hijacked? When you do. And when else? Your phone won't be allowed to work with unnewsworthy censorship. And yeah, Mormons, Latter-day Saints, Utah, LDS. Proud of that title. An active part in that. Make a video right now for the military base. Call up any part of the faith temple. And via speakerphone, try to call me. And say, you want to know when your wife, your girlfriend, your mom's, your daughter's phone is not going to be allowed to work, and what's your part in that? Make that video of military bases. Phones not working today. It usually shows up. There we go. 424-229-4140. As long as I've gone over the minute, might as well put in those big 5. Semper Fi, aim high, fly 5, win. Well, I have to keep it to a minute to. There's where you can find the big 5s. Also, vote truth. Put your own website, Defending America here. It's a military pitbull project. Image. Check and post in 5. With every Mormon when they are casing your neighborhoods when you're not home. And let's see. Casing the neighborhoods where you're all hard working or hard working defending America, huh? Aim high, fly 5, win. This we will defend. Semper Fidelis, Semper Paratus, honor, courage, commitment. These are all prepared as 4x6 photos. 2 to a 4x6 print. What, 15 cents give or take a little bit. Hand them out at church, at work, at school, at that military base, at that police station, at that fire station, where you go to school, where you live. Make that video, post that video. And yeah, I'm working through a bad case of insulin poisoning. Those who have watched me ask for a 9/11 Flight 93 checks for a decade now and not get one, very easily documented, they're worried enough about to alter phone records covered up. They prescribed me insulin, and the doc, I hesitate to say that, said it works slowly. Means most of the year I've been taking that Traceba, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks, and the Dignity Health folks, why they're in these in front of fives, covered up that insulin poisoning and took part. Well, as the LA Fire Department, disgracing a noble profession, took part in that decade of your phone not working, you not knowing when it won't be allowed to work. We have to take America back from those who attacked us with all those cowardly Husseins and attacked us with that cowardly Hussein in the White House, and now have the buffoon Russian guy, the Trump guy. Check a post 5, come see in person, have wit, will travel, show me the perfect place to build. Jesus is immaculate house. Here on earth, best people to start building with. Daddy Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. These are my Flickr collection, immaculate house at the photos. And I just put this in 2 places, both Melton's 4x6 cars. Yes, Daddy Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. Insulin poisoning, I'm kind of tired after a long day of designing truth about the Mormons, Latter-day Saints, LDS, which make for a nice Nice sticker. These are 4x6. I don't know how to do the sticker thing. But yeah, never mind the dogs. The owners are armed with phones making videos of your crimes across America. We don't like you casing our homes where we're working, and we don't like you preying on our elderly neighbors. Check and post in 544-229-4140 with the Mormons.